But this Ashes series has proven to be the biggest in every sense. So now we go to a day 4 crowd at the Gabba of 27,888, 35,000 day 3, 36,000 day 2, 37,000 day 1. Hallelujah, said Todd Greenberg, that we got to day 4.
Day 4 and a day-night test, you take that.
Absolutely.
You take that and deep into day 4. So Australia, again, like it was in the first test, they looked like they were not in, like they just won the big moments, right? Where you sat back and you looked, okay, if things had gone a little bit differently for England at times, that they might have been able to find a way in. But fundamentally, the last 2 tests, when you look at the winning result, it's clear cut by Australia. I thought Perth was a lot closer than this one in terms of the outcome.
Probably right there, and the big moments. And here's the thing about 4 days of a test match. You don't know when the big moment is coming.
Yeah.
You might have a sense of it, but your dropped catch, that's the big moment.
Yeah, and, to go back to yesterday, the big moment was Steve Smith's catch.
Undoubtedly.
Because you looked at the way England were tracking, could they get 150, for Australia to chase and under lights and make it a little bit difficult. But as soon as Steve Smith took that screamer, it was all about game over.
Travis Head dropped early on. Alex Carey dropped first ball. He makes 63.
Yeah.
There's the test match.
Yeah.
Like, that is the test match in a nutshell. 5 catches dropped on Friday evening by England. And in the end, Stokes had to bowl Josh Inglis to get wickets. So now let's look at England. Here is the captain talking after the test match yesterday.
We took 12 wickets this game, but it felt like 17 because of the drop catches. So in test match at this level, you just can't do that. You look at Steve Smith catch today after me and Jaxie got 3.5 hours together, just completely changed where it was at. Alex Carey, unbelievable behind the stumps, a couple of catches, all that kind of stuff. So, you can't drop catches at this level and not expect them to bite you in the arse.
And they bit hard. And the other captains of England, the former captains of England, knew it. Let's hear from Nasser Hussain.
Out-bowled, out-batted, out-caught, out-thought. I don't know where you want to start, but completely and utterly outplayed from start to finish.
And then Michael Vaughan weighed in.
No one can tell me that this England management has given this England team the best chance, and it's called the best chance with the tools that they've got to win in Australia. By not playing at the Wacker, going into Perth, they played at Lilac Hill, and if they're not going to go to Canberra, could they have prepared a 2-day game here under the conditions in Brisbane at the AB Field, just down the road? They've got to be brutally honest, they've got to look themselves in the mirror, they have not got it right.
And then we hear from England management via their coach, Brendan McCullum.
I think leading into this test match, I actually felt like we over-prepared, to be honest. We had 5 intense training days, and I think sometimes when you're in the heat of the battle, as we all know, I think sometimes the most important thing is to feel a little bit fresh and make sure your top 2 inches is completely sound. And I think the boys just need a few days off and probably need to just change up a few of the training methods a little bit. I'm a horse racing man, and you wouldn't just keep doing the same thing with your horse. You'd send it around in figure 8s or over the little jumps just to try and switch it on a bit. So we'll look at some alternative methods over the next few days. We've got a couple of days in Noosa, which would be good to spend a bit of time casually and just let the dust settle on what's been a pretty intense couple of weeks and start to plot and plan our way back into the series.
Your initial thoughts on the comments from Michael Vaughan into Brendan McCullum?
So there's a complete disconnect between what people of yesteryear, former England captains, believe is the best way to prepare for an Ashes test series and what this current regime. So complete disconnect. Even further enhanced by what Brendan McCullum said there, and that is that they didn't quite get it right and they needed more rest. When all of us are saying, no, you need more cricket. So you've got to trust your eyes. So when you're watching it, and I see Jofra Archer, and he now becomes a focal point of what's happening with the England side. And we can talk a lot about the approach and batsmen getting out, hitting on the up and just hitting caught and bowled chances back to Michael Neser, and whether they're equipped to do that and whether it's a function of the pitches that they play on over there in county cricket and all of that sort of thing. But when the battle was there to be won or lost, Jofra Archer's body language and his pace And all the things that we thought he was going to be here to be fresh for were nowhere to be seen. He's played a handful of test matches over the last 3 years to be ready for this tour. And at the big moment, whether he realised it, whether his captain realised it, whether his coach realised it, he let the team down. And everyone else follows on from that. And as I said, there's the bloke who can bowl 150, bowling 138 with horrible body language. And Michael Neser, and he comes off and he's so humble.
Yeah.
And I was just wanted someone to say, Michael, raise the ball, because that's going to be a great photo on your wall in years to come that you can tell the kids about. Please raise the ball for your fifer at your home ground of the Gabba. And he reluctantly did it at the end. It was a little bit so humble.
Yeah.
You know, I know my place in this Australian side, but his body language, when he's bowling 131 and the keeper is standing up to the stumps, he's charging through head up, staring at the batsman saying, I am coming to get you. And Jofra Archer bowls 138 rat pie, turns around, head down, and stumbles his way back to the mark. It is horrible. And yet, Brendan McCullum says, we might need to freshen them up a bit.
So when they get to Noosa, they're just going to sun themselves?
Zach Crawley hitting the ball really
I know.
well from what we understand. Carter to 3 under last time he played. Like, who cares?
I know.
So they've got some issues around their team.
Yeah. Well, what about the Australian lineup? So you mentioned Michael Neser. It came in. So did they get that right by not playing Nathan Lyon in the end?
I think they did. I was thinking about this on the way in on the quiet time. The rain they pulled is the right one. Why? Because they won the test match by 8 wickets. At different stages, it looked like, ooh, we'd love a spinner to be. And that's part of, Steve Smith said it after, the fact that Michael Neser can bowl with the keeper up to the stumps. Well done, Alex Carey, on the game that he had.
Outstanding game from Alex.
The game, and that puts pressure on the batsman, like a slow bowler will. Nathan Lyon will come in
Yes.
for Adelaide. So Michael Neser goes out.
The fact that the bloke that replaced Nathan Lyon also took 5 wickets in the last innings, does that vindicate the selectors?
Yes. Yes, they've got
Because
it right.
he's the one that came in. Obviously, Brendan Doggett would have played anyway.
Yes. No, they got it right. Now, there were circumstances that happened during the course of the
course.
test match, which means they could have got it horribly wrong,
Of
but they
course.
didn't. Right? So Michael Neser goes out
Yes.
after a fifer.
Yes.
And
For
then
Nathan
Brendan
Lyon, yep.
for Nathan Lyon. And then Brendan Dockett's out.
Yep.
Because Pat Cummins is going to
Correct.
play. So now your bowling lineup is stronger for Australia.
Okay, so that's 2 easy ins, 2 easy outs.
Yep.
Okay.
Now we get tricky.
So Usman is
Yep.
desperate to play. Okay. He's shown he didn't take Crash Craddock's advice of last week when he wrote, hop in the car, do a lap of honour, call time in your career.
Yep.
He's not doing that. Instead of he was training hard, nets, fitness sessions, really trying to push his case to be right for Adelaide. What's your makeup of the Australian top order for the 3rd test?
So this one, I'm happy to be led here, right? And that is, I like Travis Head at 5.
Me too.
I like Travis at 5, Cam
Yep.
Green at 6, and
Yes.
Alex Carey at 7. What's Alex Carey doing batting at 6? What was Josh Inglis doing batting at 7?
That was all very strange.
Really weird.
It was a bit strange.
Really weird. But anyway, so I like that.
Yep.
But then you go, right, there's a vacancy. Jake Weatherall, tick, tick. The fact that he's been able to score runs, especially in the pressure situation, and it was, it's not much pressure, you only got to get 64. Well, you want to make sure you're there at the end, and he
Yes.
did that. So well done to Jake Weatherall on that one. He's a lock for South Australia, quite obviously, for the Adelaide Test. I don't know.
Well, we'll get some guidance from Simon Katich later in the show around who should open for Australia.
Matt Renshaw's a name. Kerry O'Keefe threw up Campbell Kellaway.
Yeah, he scored another half century for Australia, eh?
Sam
Against
Constance
the
got
Lions.
150.
Yeah.
150.
You wouldn't be picking Sam Constance yet.
It's a New South Wales-based program, Michael.
Yeah, that's great. But I
If-
wouldn't be picking Sam Constance
I
yet.
understand that too. If I was in Melbourne, Brisbane, Adelaide or Perth right now, they would be pushing their own man.
Yeah.
But 113 and 53, we're not going to push Sammy Constance. It's not Sammy Constance. There is a chance that Usman could be in the 11. As straight, and I'd be like, okay.
I wouldn't be filthy about it.
No, I wouldn't either.
So maybe they just go back to Aussie.
1300 01 1170 0457 736 736. Let us know your thoughts. What should the Australian selectors do? What should England and their selectors do? The Boys of Summer with Michael Carianis and Jimmy Smith. Thanks to Bryden's Lawyers. Bryden's Lawyers need expert legal advice. That's what we do. G'day, Kat.
Morning, guys.
Right. We're very disappointed with some of the things that have come out, both Australia and for England. But for you, what was the overwhelming thought that you take away from another 4 days of outstanding entertainment of Test match cricket at the Gabba?
Oh, I just think that Australia were far too disciplined in all facets of the game, and I think that's where England have paid the price. They've come here thinking they could win these conditions and basically roll up and just practice as they thought they would do. And basically, Australia have been able to expose them with a lack of discipline in all facets of the game. I mean, England let themselves down. They had a great opportunity, to get on top of the Test match by winning the toss and batting first on what was a very good wicket.
Yeah.
But, they butchered that opportunity. Saying that, on day one, they had their chance. Root was beautiful. He was playing beautifully. And then Ben Stokes, when he got run out, to me, that was the turning point of the match. Josh Inglis ran him out beautifully from side on. And when that happened, that basically changed the whole complexion of the Test match because it looked like Ben Stokes was digging in with Joe Root. And if they got the stumps on day one, then who knows? Day two turns out, completely differently. And they potentially are bowling under lights compared to bowling during the daylight. So, yeah, I think England, they've got a lot of soul searching to do because, they've come here and haven't ticked every box in terms of their preparation. It's coming home to roost.
It's funny that you mentioned the preparation. This is what the English coach had to say after the game.
I think leading into this Test match, I actually felt like we over-prepared, to be honest. We had 5 intense training days, and I think sometimes the most important thing is to feel a little bit fresh.
Simon, how on earth could he possibly feel that?
I'm absolutely gobsmacked. Look, the thing is, when we found out, during the game, talking to a few people, Jamie Smith has not kept under lights with a pink ball. And then you see how it plays out, and you go, how can they actually put these blokes in this position in a big series like this? And England don't have a very experienced team when you look at it. Root and Stokes have played here before. Mark Wood's played a bit here before. He wasn't even playing in the Test. So realistically, they've got a pretty inexperienced side, particularly in these conditions. And then to come here and basically have a couple of days at Lilac Hill, which is completely, different to the stadium, and then the same with, not playing in Canberra with a pink ball. It's unbelievable.
What did you make of Jofra Archer throughout the Test? Obviously, he's bowling, carrying a pillow. He's late sledging of Steve Smith. What did you make of his performance?
Well, I think you only have to listen to the commentary last night, probably across every medium. I reckon he would have copped the same thing from everyone. I mean, I wasn't in the Channel 7 box at the time. I think I was on air with us, and Jared champed him. I think Ricky Ponting champed him, and he turned up on day 4, but the Test was done and dusted.
Yeah.
So I think, he's going to have to go away and have a real think about, whether he wants to play Test cricket seriously or not, because you don't turn up on day 4 and then bowl 150 Ks. Where was that on day 2 when it was hot and England needed him to fire up right from the word go? And the shame about it is, when you look at the way he bowled in Perth, he was on right from the word go. He knocks over Weatherall's second ball and he bowled beautifully there. This is the thing, you can't pick and choose when you're going to front up in Test cricket, and I think that's what everyone saw last night.
And that's what Steve Smith identified in the sledge straight away. Bowl fast when there's nothing going on, champ.
Correct, and that was great to see from Smithy. That was a statement from the Australian skipper. He went out there and he said, "I'm finishing the job off," and he took him down, and it was great to watch. I think the whole crowd that were there and everyone watching on, TV or listening on radio would have loved what they were seeing from the Aussie skipper.
At some stage during the course of this series, he will go past everyone else to have the most catches outside of wicketkeepers in Test match history. The one he took at slip was extraordinary, and then he got another 2. Conversely, on Friday night, England's fielding, I thought there was where the Test match was lost. How do you come to a series like this? And the ones from Ben Duckett, he's just not concentrating, Simon.
Well, this is the thing. You can practice all you want and have 5 days of practice.
Yeah.
But the problem is you don't put yourself in the same situation of being out there for 130 overs, standing up, being in the heat, and having to switch on, switch off. This game is tough, and the thing is, you have to play it. I remember Ricky Ponting used to have a saying, you don't get better at something by doing less of it. And that's exactly what England have done. They've rolled up here and just thought, yeah, we can play golf, we can bond, we can do all this. But at the end of the day, you've got to play cricket in these conditions and play tough cricket and concentrate for a long period of time. And that's what Australia did. They did it right from the word go. They hung in there. They kept England at 334. England were way under par with that first innings on that surface.
Yep.
They left probably at least 120 runs out there. And at the end of the day, that's what's cost them this test match. Everyone could look at the second innings. But first innings in test cricket is where it's at. That's where the pressure is. And if you don't make the most of your opportunities, you end up playing catch-up and then you're under the pump later in the test.
Cam Green and his dismissal, do you think, a lot probably hasn't been made of it post-test because of the outcome, but could have been far different for Cam Green?
Yeah, look, Australia left a few out there as well. I mean, if you look at that day two, Australia were in a position where, after a rollicking start by Weatherald and Head, they didn't really maximise the chance, but it was left to the bowlers the next day, and that's where credit to, Mitchell Starc and Neser and Carey and these guys. They actually executed a plan, which was just to go out there, occupy the crease, but as long as they could, and take the game into that sort of night session where they could have a new ball, and they executed it beautifully. England had that opportunity to do that batting first, and they butchered it, and as a result, they paid the price in the test.
Yeah.
Look, Cameron Green will be disappointed. He's still only a kid. I think he's only 26 years of age, but he's got to learn fast because, he's played a number of tests now in Australia. I think it's about 18 or something like that, and he's averaging 30. So if you're batting in the top 6, you've got to make those opportunities count because there's going to be plenty of guys putting their hand up in the next sort of 12 months, 18 months to want to get a spot in this Aussie team because it's, an amazing team to be able to be part of.
England's got some massive problems, and yet we think Australia might make more changes to their 11 for Adelaide. So we're presuming Lyon in for Neser, Cummins in for Doggett. What are you doing, Simon, at the top of the order?
Keeping it the same.
Right. And do you bat Josh Inglis at 6 and not 7 and put Carey back to 7?
Yeah, look, that's a tricky one because I think we saw in this test, they obviously gave the opportunity to Cameron Green, and that's what I mean. He's been given the responsibility to come up and bat at 5, and that's, he's played his best cricket for WA batting at 4, and I think they see him as that younger batter that's the long-term talent in this team, obviously bowls as well, but, he's been given that opportunity. Alex Carey played beautifully.
Yes.
And then Josh Inglis came in and, look, he'd be disappointed. He got sort of 20-odd, looked all right, and played back to a ball he probably should have got forward to. But, I don't see them making too many changes other than, what they want with the bowling lineup because, at the top of the order, both Weatherald and Head, these last couple of innings, England have been found wanting. We've got off to amazing starts and then it takes the pressure off the rest of the order. So I can't see how the hierarchy is going to change that.
So I'm assuming Usman Khawaja test career
That's it.
done and dusted?
Yeah.
Oh, it's hard to say because you just never know. He's still in the squad. Anyone can get injured at any time. So I think they'll be consistent with the squad. I don't think he'll miss out on that squad. But I just think with what's happened since Perth, it's a different dynamic at the top of the order. And, it's a tough one. I mean, I spoke to him the other day on the outfield and, I know that... we're mates. I've known him since he was a 17-year-old kid, played club cricket with him, and as a mate, I'd love to see him play, but I just think what we've seen unfold, it'll be hard to change that.
Day off for you today. Are you going to Noosa to play golf with the English lads or golf anywhere else? And the second part of this question is, Simon, I know you're a left-handed bat. Are you a left-handed golfer? Mark Taylor plays golf right-handed.
No, I'm definitely a lefty, but I'm not going to play golf today. I'm flying home later on, and, it'll be business as usual at home.
Straight into the kids' business, mate. Well done. Well done. All hands on deck. We know how that rolls. Hey, great listening over the course of the last 4 days. We do look forward to the third test match. Starts December 17 at the Adelaide Oval. Thanks for this morning, Kat.
My pleasure, guys.
Simon Katich there from the SEN commentary team. Very, very good commentator. I like the fact that he basically said, Uzi, known him forever since he was a kid.
Yeah.
Sorry, mate. That's it. You're done. Does Uzi get on the back of the truck? in Adelaide, or is that too late?
Well, you'd wait for Sydney.
Sydney. What's the New South Wales crowd going to do for the Queenslander? That was it. The Gabba. That's it.
They'd cheer him.
They'd cheer him.
Well, you think they're going to boo him?
They wouldn't boo him, but they're not. Hey! 1300 01. Let us know. What are you doing with Usman at the SCG? Did you get tickets in the ballot over the course of the weekend? I know someone did. I think Daddy might have helped out. 1300 01 1170. We're back to wrap it up.